When people hear the name Satan, images immediately pop into their heads: horns, fire, red skin, or a serpent in the garden. But the reality is much more complex, and it depends on which tradition you look at. In Christianity, Satan is often a fallen angel, the great deceiver. In Islam, he's Iblis, a jinn who whispers temptation into the hearts of people. And in both stories, he's more than just a monster. He's a lesson about pride, arrogance, and the struggle of human free will. So let's slow down, step back, and really explore. Who is Satan? How does he appear in the Bible and the Quran? And what does his story say about us? Islam's perspective: the arrogance of Iblis. In Islamic tradition, the devil is called Iblis. He isn't a fallen angel. Instead, he belongs to a separate creation called the jinn, beings made of smokeless fire, unlike humans who were made from clay. The Quran describes a powerful moment at the beginning of human history. God created Adam, the first human, and breathed life into him. Then God commanded the angels, and Iblis, who was among them, to bow down in respect to Adam. All the angels obeyed, but Iblis refused. When God asked him why, his answer was prideful. "I am better than him. You made me from fire, and him from clay." That one refusal defined his destiny. God cast him out of his mercy. But before leaving, Iblis begged for time until the day of judgment. His goal was clear: to mislead human beings, to whisper temptation into their hearts, and to prove that most people would fail the test of faith. God allowed it, but also made it clear: Iblis would have no power over those who are sincere in their belief. In other words, Satan can only invite. He cannot force. The choice always remains with us. The Quran uses a striking word for his whispers: waswasa. It even sounds like a hiss or a soft murmur. That's his power. He creeps into your thoughts, distracts you during prayer, makes you doubt yourself, or pushes you toward envy, greed, and arrogance. There is even a hadith, sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, that tells a story of a man who overslept and missed the morning prayer. The Prophet said, Satan urinated in his ears, a colorful way of saying it wasn't just sleep, it was the devil's interference. One of the most symbolic acts against Satan in Islam happens during the Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca. Millions of pilgrims gather and throw stones at walls that symbolize the devil. This ritual goes back to the story of Abraham, who was tested when Satan tried to stop him from obeying God. Abraham threw stones at him, driving him away. To this day, Muslims repeat that act as a sign of rejecting temptation. The Bible's perspective: the accuser and the fallen angel. Now let's turn to the Bible. The very word Satan comes from Hebrew, meaning adversary or accuser. In the Old Testament, Satan appears not as a rival God, but as a tester. In the book of Job, Satan comes before God and challenges Job's faith. He basically says, Job only worships you because his life is easy. Take away his blessings, and he'll curse you. God allows the test, and Job endures incredible suffering, but he holds on to his faith. Here, Satan is like a prosecutor in a courtroom. He's there to accuse, to push, to test the limits of human loyalty. But later in Christian tradition, Satan takes on a much larger role. Some Christians interpret passages in Isaiah and Ezekiel as describing his fall from heaven, where pride caused him to rebel. By the time we reach the New Testament, Satan is firmly established as the great deceiver. He tempts Jesus in the wilderness, offering him food when he's hungry, power when he's weak, and kingdoms if he'll just bow down. But Jesus refuses each time, replying with Scripture, "Worship the Lord your God and serve him only." Finally, in the book of Revelation, Satan is described as a dragon, cast down from heaven with his angels, destined for final defeat in the lake of fire. So while in Islam, Satan is a jinn who whispers, in Christianity, he is often seen as a fallen angel who wages open rebellion. Comparing the two views. Let's put them side by side for a moment. Islam says Iblis was a jinn. His sin was arrogance, Thinking fire made him superior to clay. His weapon is whispering and tempting, but he cannot control you. Christianity often teaches that Satan was once an angel who fell because of pride. He accuses, deceives, and tempts, sometimes directly even challenging prophets. Both faiths agree on one thing. Satan's goal is to lead humans astray. He doesn't rule the universe. He's not equal to God. He's not a rival deity. He's a creature allowed to test us and destined to fail in the end. What does it all mean? If you really think about it, these stories aren't just about a supernatural enemy. They're about us. The story of Iblis is a warning against arrogance, thinking you're better than others or even too good to obey God. The story of Satan in the Bible warns against pride, lies, and the temptation of power. Both traditions teach that evil doesn't begin with fire or horns. It begins with a thought, pride, envy, anger, that we let grow. That's the whisper. That's the test. And the ultimate question isn't about what Satan does. It's about how we respond. Do we let the whisper guide us? Or do we hold fast to humility, faith, and obedience to God? Because in the end, the real battlefield of Satan isn't in the heavens. It's in the human heart.